All right, good evening, hockey fans. Welcome aboard. Struggling game, to say it none the least, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you are on Team Tank, this should be probably a game that you would prefer to watch, but struggling nonetheless. Just sorting out some technical difficulties here as well. I misplaced my microphone stand, so I'm holding the microphone as we speak. So we'll get to this as swiftly as possible. Welcome aboard, everyone, as the Flames lose this one by a score of 4-1, or actually 5-1, pardon me, because I didn't write the last goal, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. I'll probably sift through period number one. We'll talk about scoring summary. Then we'll talk about the big news of the day, which is on its way, but at least partially confirmed. We'll talk about that. And I want to also talk about one word that's being most famous in the Calgary Flames hockey territory. If you want to chime on that, we'll talk about the standings at the Flames stand at the moment. And last but not the least, we'll do Thanksgiving schedule slash outlook, because it's US Thanksgiving. If what do you call, if you're in Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching. We really appreciate you tuning in. We'll do a quick goal scoring summary here right away. And as we get through this program right here. But welcome aboard. My name is Anand, Game Over Calgary. If you're just watching right now, our live chat is fully open for you. If you want to talk about Flames hockey tonight, the 3-game winning streak is now for the Calgary Flames. Of course, not the game you expected. They looked terrible from the start onwards. And you know, where the Tampa Bay Lightning didn't have their core players, we thought the Flames would do somewhat better. But at the end, they don't, when the Tampa Bay opens the scoring. And easily, all of a sudden, it becomes 3-0, then 4-0. Then Dustin Wolf, 3-0, and then Dustin Wolf gets pulled. Devin Cooley comes in, gives up one, but stops the bleeding kind of in the second period. Then Joel Farabee, we'll talk about him in just a moment time. They score shortened it, some sort of lifeline, but that will do it till then, when the Flames lose by a score of 5-1. Little busy here as I get through things going. But we'll talk about everything in just moments time. So we start with the Tampa Bay Lightning that opened the scoring 1-0 from a goal from Brandon Hagel. Apologies if I mispronounce these names. Names are sometimes a challenge for me, especially when it comes to these strong names. But it is Brandon Hagel, assisted by Anthony Sarelli, and assisted by Nikita Kucherov from a wrist shot. And that starts where the bleeding for the Calgary Flames. They get outshot, outscored. First goal of the first shot goes in for the Tampa Bay Lightning, which of course we know they could have been a different team with all their firepower they had. Whether they were missing Braden Point, they were missing a few other key players that they were not listed on the roster because of injury. And once they're healthy, they could be a totally different team. I know the Flames don't have that superpower like the Tampa Bay Lightning does, but so they end up losing this one by a score of 5-1. The second goal, this is most ever French name I have seen so far, Charlie Edouard de Estos. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It was assisted by Nick Paul and Jake Gunsel. And that was a slap shot at 126. And that's when you know that the trouble starts for the Flames. and it doesn't stop there. Then shortly after that, 4 minutes later, 3-0 for Tampa Bay Lightning, where it becomes Zemgus Gergesen, assisted by Yanni Gode and Pontus Holmberg. A shot makes it 3-0 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So a totally different game we saw where the Flames demolished the Vancouver Canucks. They came close against the Dallas Stars and finished it in shootout. And then Devin Cooley comes in. Unfortunate for Devin Cooley, things don't stop there. It becomes Tampa Bay Lightning. Declan Carlele, assisted by Steven Sortini and Jay Gunzel. A snapshot makes it 4-0 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then the Calgary Flames get a lifeline in the third period. Joel Farabee, who has been one of the, probably I would say, the real consistent forwards for the Calgary Flames, score a short-handed goal, which was much important. Whereas this is John Beecher. John Beecher gets his first point as a Flame, first assist as a Flame, assisted by Jan Kuznetsov, who has been great with recently with Uyghur as well. They had a rough start to begin with, but at least getting the point is some sort of positive for the team. And that was a short-handed. Finally, the Calgary Flames get something on the board. And then I'm looking at the last goal, which I didn't get a moment to write it down, but it's Nikita Kucherov, assisted by Brandon Hagel and Radesh. That gets the things done for the Tampa Bay Lightning done tonight. So if you are on Team Tank, this is a good game for you. If you are on the Flames, might still have the playoff chance. Not so great, because looking at the standings, they might, and I'll talk about why that in just a moment. But now we reach the US Thanksgiving timeline, and it doesn't look great for the Flames, to be honest. And we didn't know it would be this worse. We knew there would be few bumps and all down the road, but the Flames not able to get things done. KQ is in the chat. KQ, welcome aboard. Matt C, welcome aboard. So that was your quick scoring summary. I won't spend much time in period number 1 because nothing went down in Flames fashion. And it didn't demonstrate what they did in Vancouver. It didn't demonstrate what they did against Dallas Stars. They look like a total team. Maybe the third period you want to say, maybe they look like a third team, but it was little too late. So Flames not able to play their full 60, and they pay the price for that in the form of Tampa Bay Lightning, who came in lightning streak fashion. Let me know your thoughts of the game as well, what you saw out there. We can always discuss that as we go through along. Our chat line is wide open. But let's get you to the news of the day. The biggest news that everybody was probably waiting for. Everybody wanted to hear this. And that an extension with Craig Conroy is in the works. Eric Francis, during the intermission panel on Sportsnet, mentioned that it will most likely be a 2-year extension for the general manager himself, Craig Conroy. But we are waiting to see confirm that. It was Elliot Friedman who broke the news at first, that they've been working on a deal for quite a while, and it gets official this evening. You could take this two ways. That Don Maloney and his crew wanted to avoid a PR disaster, and they wanted to put out some good news for the Flames fan to maybe die down the fire that they have been experiencing over the week or so after the Don Maloney comments. We'll talk about the word of the day that has been going around. It has become a whole new internet sensation, if you want to say. But if you're a Flames faithful, and if you were gonna say Craig Conrad did an excellent job, I have good news for you. The Craig Conrad extension is on the way. I heard it's just 2 years though for now from Eric Francis. So you can argue maybe it's potentially a shorter term. Maybe 3 years or 4 years would have been preferred. But we will find out if 2 years becomes the right deal, especially when still Scotia Place opens up. Hopefully, by then we get some more elite talent in the draft picks, which Conroy has been excellent in drafting. Hope that becomes into fruition and we see some elite talent that gets worked into the Calgary Flames. All right. So it will come down the fire. We'll talk about some great work that Conroy has been involved with. We talked about Craig Conroy having to do most of the housekeeping work, especially when Brad Trevelling left as a GM. And I think for the most part, he has done a good job. He got good trade value for Elias Lindholm and Jacob Markstrom, who in the form of we have Hunter Brustovich, who's been doing great in the AHL Wranglers. We have what you call Jacob Markstrom. We got Kevin Ball instead, and a great trade there. Then decent but all right trade was Noah Hannafin. That of course Noah Hannafin and his agent kind of handcuffed Craig Conroy. So you can talk about that. Then Craig Conroy traded Chris Tanev and Mangiapane. Chris Tanev, a consistent player with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mangiapane moved to Edmonton Oilers. And I've been hearing he's struggling mightily. So I think in that way and form, his trades has been so decent. Like especially if you look at the Yegor Sharangovich contract situation, maybe you will say not the best extension. Maybe could it have been a shorter term? Sure, you could agree that. But then he locked up Coronato and Dustin Wolf. Matt C saying the beach, and that is in reference to John Beecher, who got his first NHL assist or first assist as in Calgary Flame, first point under his belt. That one a play from Joel Farabee short-handed goal that made it 4-1 for the Tampa Bay Lightning, one goal for the Calgary Flames. And like I said, not the best game at all they have played. They looked flat-footed to begin with and was flat-footed to the entire game. So that's your biggest news extension, Craig Conroy. Let me know what your thoughts on the Craig Conroy extension are. Really would love to hear your thoughts when we head into overtime. But the word of the day I wanted to talk about is rebiggle. I know Rebiggle was accidentally dropped by Don Maloney during last week. Yeah, it's already last week. What a whirlwind of a week the Calgary Flames have had since Don Maloney coming out and speaking to Brandon Parker. Then a couple days later talking about fantasy and all. And the word that has stood out for everyone is rebiggle. And today I took an interesting twist. I went to Google and searched what the word rebiggle means. And Google or AI, if you want to call it, tells me, of course, Flames, you would know that the Flames would use ChatGPT. So why not? I did some Googling. And it has been a true internet sensation. They say it's like a humor slang. Here I'll read out the exact thing for you. You can react however you want. But the meaning of rebiggle. You can also do this Google search. The term rebiggle is a recent colloquial and humorous mispronunciation of the word rebuild. It gained traction within the fan base of the Calgary Flames professional hockey team in late 2025, so that's about right now, after a team executive used the term in an interview. It does not have an established definition in standard dictionaries, but has been adopted by fans and local sports media to refer to the team's ongoing process of reconstructing the roster. How fun is that? When you have a term built by AI telling about the trend, the the way this Flames team is going, you would seriously think that things are not going in the right direction. Of course, now with this loss heading into US Thanksgiving, you wonder what the outlook of the Flames is going to be. Do we start seeing some of those youngsters that we have been talking about, Matvey Graden, Rory Cairns? Is it time to sit down a few of the veterans? I know they have been rotating back Lomberg. Oh yeah, another point I wanted to talk about, they sent down Sam Morton yesterday. I know Sam Morton was on the flight with the team, so with the Calgary Flames, because they did a video on Sam Morton. But then they decided to send him down, so that leaves an extra open roster spot. I wonder if that's an indication of they want to recall someone, or are they looking to trade someone? I don't know yet. Of course, the Wranglers are playing tonight here shortly at 8 o'clock. They are out in San Jose to take on the San Jose Barracudas, where they have struggled as well against the Barracudas, of course. So, little complex, perplexed decisions that the Flames are taking. Now we have an odd afternoon game coming up, which I'll talk about this in the third period. But I wonder what the Flames path will be moving forward, especially now that we are into US Thanksgiving. Let's take a look at the standings right now of where the Flames sit at. With the loss, let me see if the Nashville won tonight, because that will heavily determine it. Nashville. Okay, I know Nashville. Oh, Nashville won 6-3. Okay, so wonderful. So I would say Nashville would get 2 points. I'm going to see if the NHL standings is updated. So ESPN national standings. So Nashville has 18 points, so they got 2. So they are close to putting us back in 32nd spot. The Flames have 19. The Vancouver Canucks have 20. The St. Louis Blues has 21 now. I believe they won today. Let's see, where is St. Louis Blues? St. Louis Blues. No, they just gained a point. They lost against the New Jersey Devils. Are we back at the bottom saying Matt C? I don't see that yet, because the Nashville have 18, the Flames have 19. So need at least one more game to go there at the bottom. But we are close there. So in that case, I'm gonna say the Flames can salvage themselves into a playoff spot, and thus I don't mind if they quit this season and they try to go younger and start the rebuild route. I'm pretty sure by now, especially this US Thanksgiving mark, the Flames will start to have maybe players get request traded. Hopefully it's Nazem Kadri, Blake Coleman and Rasmus Anderson on that front. We'll see if that becomes to fruition, but I think whoever was playoff hopeful can say I think we're done for the season with the way the team came today to play. And I think the rebuild journey can be on. Mershon McKenna, or even if it's Ivar Stenberg or Keaton Verhoff, one of them, if we can get under. And then maybe the next year after that, get like a Landon DuPont or someone like that. The Flames can look forward to something positive or a light under the tunnel. And I think rebuild is the right option now, regardless whoever says what, because I think we passed that US Thanksgiving timeline, and I think that's the perfect direction to go. Let me know if you agree as well. Into the third period, let's take a look at the schedule moving forward. Yeah, Landon DuPont would be something ideal. So let's take a look at the schedule. On Friday, we take on the Florida Panthers at 2 p.m. It's an odd afternoon puck drop. We know how afternoon puck drops goes for the Flames. Doesn't go always well. And then Sunday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, we take on the Carolina Hurricanes. We know how they have performed past against the Hurricanes. And then on Tuesday, it's on the road again to take on the Nashville City, the Nashville Predators in Music City. We know that the Nashville is struggling. The Flames struggles, and we know how the Flames play against struggling teams. We'll need to find out, and especially home, away, on the road for a couple of game stretch. We know how brutal that can be. So we'll see what the Flames can get done. But yeah, I truly wish at this point that the Flames can get a higher round pick, which they must need. And I think that's the direction for to go. I've been opposed to being a part of like a team rebuild or team tank because of how naive I was of the idea. But now I am in favor for it because I've talked to many people, many experts, and they all say if the Flames can get a similar player to a Connor Bedard, a similar player to a Macklin Celebrini, a similar player maybe even to a McDavid, or similar player to even Nathan McKinnon, who were first round picks, then the Flames are all set for a bright future. And that's not possible if you don't get a first round pick. And that is looking forward the outlook of either Gavin McKenna, Keaton Verhoff, Ivar Stenberg this year. So once again, the Flames play Florida on Friday, Hurricanes on Sunday, next week Tuesday in Nashville. I think this will all in all become a gauntlet of a road trip. They start with 1-0. We'll see if they can manage to get, maybe 1 3-0, something like that on this road trip. I could see the Nashville being a win. But apart from that, if you're going against defending Cup champions Florida, Hurricanes we have struggled against, and Nashville, some sort of easiness, I could say. That will bring us to our fourth period final overtime. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's look through the chats again here real quick to close out the frame. Once again, if you missed The Calgary Flames and Craig Conroy are working on an extension for Craig Conroy himself. It is speculated to be around the 2-year mark. Not official fully just yet, but it will be soon. It was Friedman who brought out the news first. The Flames lose this one by a score of 5-1. And quickly looking at the chat, KQ, Matt C, thank you for hanging out. Matt C says the Beach, who got his first NHL, why do I keep saying NHL? I should say first assist as a Flame. And then Matt C saying we're back at the bottom. Not really. The Nashville still at the bottom, 18 points. Nashville, if they can win against us on Tuesday, that will put us right there. I don't know. I haven't looked at Nashville's schedule just yet fully. Towards the end, I will take a look at that in a later episode for Nashville if they play before us, but that's the next leap forward they can do. And then KQ saying, oh, Dupont. Dupont will be a star for us as well. I know his brother Nolan Dupont used to play for the Calgary Canucks in the AJHL. And if you can get Landon Dupont, perfect. Ideal situation. That will do it for me, where the Flames lose this one against by a score of 5-1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Thanks for joining us. Next game is on Friday at 2 p.m. Puck drop against the Florida Panthers. I believe Conrad will have that post-game show. And since I just realized that it's a 2 p.m. puck drop, but I have a game in High River, maybe I will see if I can join Conrad somehow as a quick guest. We'll see if that's possible before I leave to High River, but I want to make sure I get there in time as well because of the roads. Hope everybody is enjoying the winter as well here in Calgary, if you're in Calgary. But have yourself a great night. Have yourself a great rest of your week. Just the biggest news of the day to share. Once again, Craig Conrad being worked in an extension. And I'm sure Conrad and I, maybe, depends on how things goes, we'll have more to share about it on Friday. And my other biggest takeaway, let the Flames rebuild continue. No need to focus on the playoffs now. Focus on getting younger. And hopefully one day within my lifetime, we'll be able to see the Flames lift the Stanley Cup. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have yourself a great night. Have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you again soon on another episode of Game Over Calgary.